Good afternoon. Thank you for calling and thank you for joining today's webinar, AcuQuality Webinar Series. How to comply with SQF standards with the help of QDMS and Acumatica. My name is Kevin Devecioğlu. I'm the Managing Director of Bimser International, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to join us. Before we get started, I would like you to put your microphones muted, please. Please mute your microphone so that we can have a clear webinar experience together. Thank you very much. So today we put together a panel of our team members, and we'll be talking about what type of SQF standards are there in the market, what type of requirements SQF has, and how we can help you comply with SQF digitally with no need of paper while you are using QDMS and Acumatica together while they are integrating and interacting at the same time. Great. So before we jump to the subject matter, I'd like to remind you that we have a YouTube channel for Bimser International, and you can visit the YouTube channel and click playlist, where you can see the list of our recorded webinars for previous weeks. As you know, AcuQuality Webinar Series is a series, weekly series, and we deliver every Monday at 2 p.m. As you see on the slide, we have various recordings available for good manufacturing practices, how to comply with good manufacturing practices with QDMS and Acumatica, how to comply with ISO 9001, and how to comply with ISO 13485 in healthcare and medical device industry. So all these webinars are recorded and they are available on our YouTube channel. So feel free to visit anytime you like, and you can watch and share with your colleagues. Also, we have all the plans are ready. We have 2 years plans actually are all set up for you. So we have a lot to cover in terms of quality management digitally, which is our expertise area. And in coming weeks, we'll be talking about good manufacturing practices from the facility management point of view. We'll be talking about AS 9100 compliance in digitally in QDMS as well as Acumatica, that is designed for aerospace and defense industry. The previous one for May 18 is designed for food, healthcare, medical device, and pharma industry. On June 1st, we'll be talking about how to manage corrective actions digitally on QDMS and Acumatica. Corrective actions are very universal and very important for companies to manage their quality management system. So we'll be addressing this important subject on June 1st. On June 8th, we'll be talking about BRC standards for food industry. It's pretty similar to SQF, but there are certain differences between two systems. And we'll be addressing BRC standards and how to comply with the standard digitally on QDMS and Acumatica. All right, great. So that's my turn now. I'd like to introduce Bimser International briefly, who we are and what we do, and then we'll jump to the subject matter as to SQF and how to comply digitally. Bimser is an enterprise software maker since 1998. We are based in New York. In essence, we help companies adopt digital transformation and simplify their business processes. So we help them have a paperless work environment. As Bimser, we are very active in various business communities. ASQ is one of them, American Society for Quality, followed by other chambers and associations that we help that help us actually engage with various quality management professionals in manufacturing, in service providing, and we are learning and engaging at the same time professionally. We have an internship program. We call it University of Bimser International. Now we run it virtually, and this is designed for helping university students learn how to do pre-sales engineering and software engineering, which is very popular. We get a lot of actual requirements and interests among university students in software engineering. As Bimser International, we have global presence. As you see on the screen, we are also active in Europe, while we are based in North America. And in total, as a group, we are about 200 people. We are a growing organization. European Bank for Reconstruction and Development is one of our investors. So with their help and support, we have more visibility in international markets, and we have, of course, more resources for our products and for our partners. We are an Acumatica independent software vendor. We are a Microsoft Gold vendor partner. We are a certified SAP vendor, and we are a MyoB ISV partner as well in various parts of the world. Speaking of certifications, we'll be talking about SQF today. We also have quality management systems in place. We run our quality management system on daily basis. We are ISO 9001 certified and ISO 271 certified. Since 1998, we focus on our 4 products: EBA, BIM, QDMS, and Ensemble. EBA is a workflow engine, helps companies automate their business processes. BIM is asset maintenance and facility management software, helps companies manage their assets, preventive, predictive maintenance operations, as well as facility management operations. BIM is also very helpful for good manufacturing practices compliance, by the way, and we'll be talking about it next week on Monday at 2 o'clock. QDMS is our quality, risk, compliance, and management system. It helps companies manage their quality management systems, including SQF, and we'll show you today, interacting with Acumatica. And finally, we have Ensemble as a business process management tool. In the bottom, you can see a contract management solution that we designed for companies to manage their contracts in a paperless digital environment. And we have ITSM solution for companies to manage their IT service management solutions. BIM for asset and maintenance management, QDMS for quality management, and contract management for paperless contract management. These are certified Acumatica solutions. They run independently, and at the moment they are also running with Acumatica as well. Here you can see how we position our products. Ensemble is a managerial tool, that's why it's on top. EBA is a workflow engine, BIM is an asset management system, QDMS is a quality management system, are designed to automate business processes, basically. Our products are ready to run standalone, and we integrate them to ERP systems, CRM systems, and other enterprise level systems or any other software system available at customer's location. So the idea is to basically provide and help customers have an integrated management system. Our products run on cloud as well as on-premise servers. We have web-based technology, and we have mobile apps available. So here you can see our number of the projects that we delivered by the end of last year. And these numbers are higher, of course, at the moment. As for QDMS, our quality management system, and we'll talk more about it today, and we'll also demonstrate some part of it actually in action. We have more than 1,000 corporate customers for QDMS, and we have more than 1 million professional users, and these numbers are getting higher every single month. We have a lot of references, reputable references that we work with. We work with AstraZeneca, Danone, Ford, Hyundai, 3M, some of our customers as you see on the screen. We are working with Bridgestone, Renault-Nissan Alliance, United Nations is one of our customers. We work with Starbucks, and Unilever is also one of our customers. And there are many other customers that we are working with, reputable companies. Since historically we are coming from enterprise market, that's why we have the opportunity of working with these great brands, great companies. Also, we are helping mid-market. So what it means for mid-market is that since we are coming from enterprise market, our products are scalable. So if you are a company growing with multiple locations, our products are great for you. You can grow with our products while you are also growing with Acumatica ERP system. So we have the great combination for you. Okay, so in a nutshell, that's who we are and what we do. So let's jump into SQF a little bit. So we put together some summary for you as for what SQF does and why it is so important for companies. So SQF is a standard, is a quality actually and safety management standard designed by Safety Quality Food Institute. That's a division of Food Industry Association. They are both based in Virginia. And SQF is a safe quality food program, basically, and it helps basically food manufacturers to manage their business processes and safety standards. SQF is a standard recognized by Global Food Safety Initiative, GFSI. It's based in France originally. It has also presence in North America, Asia, as well as South America. So it's a global food safety standard, I will say. So if you notice, I marked some of the standards that is actually involved with SQF. So SQF is also using some other standards in its structure. So one part of it, for example, it is designed for food companies to manage their safety and quality management standards. So they call these basically from farm to fork. and it has certain levels in terms of certifications. I won't get into so much in detail. If you notice, I have sources in the bottom, so you can actually visit sqfi.com as well as fda.gov in terms of details of these levels of standards and others. But I like to summarize it for you because that's important to lay the foundation. SQF has 3 levels of certifications. This level 2 is, for example, is designed to get help from HACCP standards. So it's actually based on HACCP standards, I must say. And HACCP is actually standing for Hazard Analysis Critical Control and Point. That is basically a preventive food safety system. It's a global system recognized globally. And it was first time actually designed by NASA in 1960s. Okay, so from that time on, it became very popular, highly respected, and widely used preventive food safety system standards. HACCP has 7 principles, and these 7 principles also include in ISO 22000. ISO 22000 is the food safety and quality management system that is supported by GMP and SSOP practices, basically. That is ISO 22000 is another subject matter for us to have another actually webinar and talk about in detail. But let's just say that it's the global food safety and quality management system. So when you look at the HACCP, it has 7 principles as you see on the screen. So it starts with risk analysis. You identify the risk and you try to be actually preventive in your actions when you are managing your food safety and quality management standards. And HACCP is designed to help you manage to have a food safety system as preventive as possible. So you like to be proactive in a way. And that is what actually these 7 principles are about. These 7 principles, HACCP is also required by FDA standards as well as USDA for example, juice manufacturers, meat processors, for example, they are also required to practice HACCP. So HACCP is in the SQF level 2 certification, if you notice, and you need to, as a food company, one needs to basically practice these 7 principles. So this is basically the system SQF put together. There is a food safety part of things, operations, I will say, and there is also the quality management part of operations. That's why it has 3 levels. It is going higher and higher, deeper and deeper in terms of how one can actually manage the standards. So that is, SQF is very common and very actually popular in North America as we know it. When you go to Europe, when you go to Asia, there are other standards as we see as ISO 22000, BRC, for example, and we'll talk about it in coming weeks. But for companies operating in SQF, operating in North America, manufacturing food, processing food in North America, manufacturing or processing food in outside of North America, but would like to sell to North America, basically required to comply with SQF standards. That is what we have been seeing in the marketplace. That's why it's very important for North American market to know about SQF standards. So it has major requirements. I summarize them for you. So there are food safety management system, and there is also good manufacturing system. I didn't include the quality management standards because I talked about it last week. We talked about ISO 9000. If you remember, that's basically Holy Grail, the 7 quality management systems, the leadership, making decisions based on evidence, for example, being interactive with your stakeholders and so on, 7 principles. So that is there. But with SQF, we need to focus on the food safety management system. That is where actually we'll be digitizing, and we'll show you in a minute how you can manage the QDMS interacting with Acumatica. So food safety management system, just like any other management system that we have been seeing, it starts with actually document control and management commitment. So management needs to commit, and based on this commitment, all the activities that we are actually performing needs to be actually documented. So these 2 are very actually common in any management standard, followed by food safety plans, followed by corrective and preventive action, non-conformity management, as well as audits, as well as recalls, how you're going to manage the recalls if there is any training, for example. These are very important parts of the management system as to food safety. Then you look at the good manufacturing practices, for example, that is about facility management, and we'll be talking about next week in more detail. So we are talking about personnel hygiene. We are talking about facility hygiene. We are talking about storage and transport processes, how you're going to manage those. Also, laboratories, on-site laboratories needs to be managed based on good manufacturing practices. How you can manage these and how you can digitize it also. We'll talk about it next week. Waste management, waste disposal management, exterior management, also parts of the good manufacturing practices that we'll be talking about. So all these needs to be put into consideration, and you need to manage them also at the same time to be compliant with SQF. So these are major requirements of SQF, and we like to also talk about how you can actually perform this digitally. So there are companies complying with SQF on paper. So SQF doesn't dictate anything about how you're going to comply. It's going to be on a software, it's going to be on paper, it's going to be on a spreadsheet. Doesn't say that. That's really up to the company. We know some companies comply on paper, which is very difficult to manage as we know it, and we'll address some of those challenges as well. And we'll also talk about in a minute how you can manage these standards, at least some of them, digitally in this digital age, especially nowadays because of the COVID-19 situation. Most of these tasks actually we can manage remotely, digitally, with no need of paper. So let's talk about digital transformation of quality management. Now we know our requirements and how do we manage that and how do we actually address it with QDMS and Acumatica. Maybe you thought about why we need to comply with SQF. So customers are asking for requirements, asking for this requirement. Competitors are getting also certification in the marketplace. Some companies, some countries actually asking specifically for HACCP compliance as part of SQF. So that's also something common in the marketplace. Also, you like to improve your processes as a food company. That is why you need to comply with kind of standards, SQF, BRC, and ISO 22000. And also it helps your company to be more competitive. Of course, there are challenges. So as you see, there is a ton of requirements that one company needs to follow as a food company, right? So it requires a lot of paperwork, documentation, as I mentioned earlier, right after the management commitment. Also, it is very hard to follow the standards sometimes on a day-to-day basis. It is hard to collect data to take corrective actions, for example. That's another requirement. Also, one of the challenges that we have been seeing in the marketplace is having the central repository for documentation, for document control, as well as corrective actions. And it's very difficult to follow up corrective actions sometimes. That's what we have been hearing from the companies. So thanks to digital age, there are solutions. You can automate your control document management processes. You can digitize it. You can have audit activities digitally. And also you can have the opportunities easier in a way that so that you can take corrective actions easier, basically. So for having this in mind, we have this framework called Proactive Management Framework that's actually also addressing SQF standards if you think about it. So there is assurance, there is control, and there is predict. These are the three pillars of our proactive management framework. Assurance in this particular case is SQF, that is our quality and safety management system. So that basically dictates how we are going to have the controls in place. Assurance has, as I mentioned earlier, it has the safety piece and quality management piece. Quality, this system, everything starts with the management commitment, and then you need to manage your documentation, document control, corrective actions, audit, trainings, and other details. So based on these assurance requirements, we need to have controls in place. These controls may be in raw material receiving, maybe during manufacturing, maybe after manufacturing. So we need to manage the control points as well. If we take it further, if you are running your quality management system, these controls may be also in administrative operations, not only manufacturing. So you may want to also have control points in marketing. You may want to have control points in vendor selection, as well as customer management, sales management, for example, purchasing, as well as production operations or pre-production operations as well. And finally, we have the predict piece. So that's basically touching the IoT devices and smart sensors, which is very important for food companies because they are required to manage the temperature and humidity of their work environments and their refrigerators. So we know some companies go to refrigerators physically and check 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in a day and fill up the forms. We've seen it ourselves. So with the help of predictive management activities and IoT devices, you can actually easily remotely monitor the temperature. So having this in mind, these three pillars, we put together our product line. So EBA helps you manage your controls. QDMS helps you manage your quality assurance system, quality management system. In this particular case, we are talking about SQF. And BEAM, our asset and maintenance management system, helps you manage your IoT devices as well as your assets. So then we move on with QDMS. That's our quality risk audit and compliance management system. That's also an Acumatica certified solution located in Acumatica marketplace that is basically designed to work with many different systems. So you may have IoT devices, smart sensors available. So we can integrate and we can help you monitor and we can help you take corrective actions if needed. You may have manufacturing execution system when you're processing your products. We can help you manage and remotely monitor the activities. If there is any irregularities, we can help you take corrective actions, for example, and you can automate this process. If you have a customer relationship management system, CRM system, we can also integrate, we can actually pull customer information into QDMS so that you can manage your customer complaints, you can manage your corrective actions, non-conformities in relation with that customer. QDMS is already integrated with Acumatica ERP system. So any information that you have in Acumatica, we can send it to QDMS and we can send it from QDMS back to Acumatica, for example. So we have open APIs, we have very modern technologies just like Acumatica has, and these two systems are ready to talk to and each other and work with each other. QDMS is designed to help companies comply with many different standards. It's very user-friendly. Once we actually train the quality management department, they can manage QDMS themselves. There is no other outside consultants or IT department needed to run the system. It works on cloud as well as on-premise servers. So that has a very modern technology. And one of the advantages of QDMS is it is actually modular. We have more than 30 modules available for QDMS. However, we are not trying to offer 30 of them. We basically understand what the customer needs, what their challenges are, and we try to address those challenges with our modules. So as you see, there is control document management module. One of the questions I got actually a couple of weeks ago was the control document management versus document management. So control document management is designed to have a document management system based on controls and permissions. These are heavy permissions based on requirements of FDA, based on requirements of SQF and ISO. So it has certain permission schematic, certain permission workflow underneath that is traceable, that is reportable, and it has audit trail. So once you have the control document management in place, if there is a policy, procedure, or SOP, once that is actually approved in organization, we have the audit trail. We know who approved it, who initiated it, who reviewed it, and who finalized it. And after that, there is a distribution piece where you can actually send the latest policy or procedure within the organization. You can distribute, you can have a distribution automatically. Training module, we have it as to address SQF standards, for example. We have corrective action, which is very important. That is also part of SQF standard for food industry. There is risk management, which is very important. And as I mentioned earlier, that's also a part of HACCP standards for companies to actually analyze their risk. And you can also sort your risk. What is the likelihood, what is the severity of the risk, and what may be the contingency plan, for example. So you can manage all these in our risk management modules. We have right now more than 6 different risk management modules. The most popular one is process risk management, followed by environment, health and safety, and IT asset risk management. Also, we have incident management module available that also helps you manage the incidents as well as recalls. And you can manage all these with the help of incident management, and it is also integrated with Acumatica. As you see, there is calibration management module. It helps companies manage the calibration of their machinery and equipment. These equipment and machinery, they need to be adjusted from time to time. That may be monthly, that may be quarterly, that may be annually. So that is basically recorded in calibration module, and it has reminders and notifications to make sure all your machinery and equipment is actually calibrated. That's important for SQF, for food safety procedures, as well as quality management systems. That's very, very important. All right, great. So that is basically the overview of our company. overview of SQF standards, and also I shared some information about QDMS, our Quality Risk and Compliance Management System. Now I'd like to hand it over to Sam, our pre-sales software engineer from our engineering team. And Sam will be showing you QDMS on a high level. And he'll be also showing you control document management module today, so you can see how you can manage your policies, procedures, SOPs, and other documents in a controlled environment. And then we'll also show you some safety procedure management applications digitally. And all of these we'll be showing you, actually also interacting with Acumatica. We'll show you as well. Sam, are you ready?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Kevin. I'm ready. Okay.
Great.
And can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, great. You're welcome. So thank you for joining today's webinar. This is Sam at Bimser International. So what you can see on the screen is the home screen of QDMS, our Quality Risk, Audit and Compliance Management System. So you can find all your pending tasks and requests for approval right on this home screen. So it makes sure you won't miss any task or request right after you log into QDMS. And you can click on the widget and get a quick connection to those requests. Okay, and on the top left, this is the main menu of QDMS. QDMS provides over 30 modules in the system. So as I'm now logging in as the administrator, which you can tell from the name on the top right. So I have the full control of the system. And keep in mind, QDMS is permission-based, which means not everyone can see everything in the system. It will base on your role, your position, profession, department, or group. So different users have different permission to the system accordingly. And today, in order to show you how to comply with SQF, we will go into the control document management module, which allows you to upload and save all the versions of your policy, SOP, specification, and so on in the system. And anytime with the internet connection, you can read your document, revise your document, or manage the folder structure in QDMS as well. Let's get started. So how we can read the content of your documents uploaded in QDMS? First of all, you can go to right here and find a nice folder tree on your left, and you can find all your documents in this folder, and you can simply click it and start reading, for example, your SOP right in the built-in browser of QDMS. What I mean is you don't need any other software or solution to read the content of your document, and instead it will be shown in the built-in browser of QDMS. Now QDMS is bringing up the content of my document, my SOP, so you can see right here in this built-in browser, which also you can zoom in and out and get a better visibility to your document. And on the top, there is several tabs which allow you to get the document information, for example, the name, the code, the date of creation, the version, and also the approver and controller. And right here in this revision info tab, you can find all versions of this document here. And with the permission, you can also get back to the previous version as well. And the next is the permission matrix, that you can see what kind of permission is granted to the users or the groups. For example, like reading it, printing, revising, getting back to the previous version, or deleting this document. And tape, you can find which user or group has the obligation to read this document once it is uploaded or updated. It's make sure no users will miss the update or the new policy in the system. They will receive a notification on QDMS and also in their email inbox. Also, you can find the approval flow that we have for this document, like who are the approver. And in case if you have any questions or requests, you can send this to this approver regarding your requests or questions. And lastly, all the action or activities that the users carry out in the system will be recorded in the log of QDMS. So you can find your audit trail right here. For example, like when the document is created, when it's got approved, or when it's got revised or updated, right under this history tape. So with the permission, you can also use the icon on the top, like printing the document. And you can also enter how many copies that you want to have. And it also will also be recorded in the system and make sure no copies will, no suspicious copy will be printed in the system as well. So seeing after reading your document, you will have another question like how we added new document into the system. And this is how we can do it, is go to the create new document, and you can pick and choose the folder that you want to put your document. And after that, you can enter the document code, which has to be unique in the system because it is one of the way the system identifies which document you're interacting with. So this code has to be unique. So for example, like this. And by the way, you can also set up an a code template and make the system fill in the document code automatically for you. And you can enter the document name, saying it is a demo procedure 11-21. And after that, while you are uploading a new document, you can manage the permission matrix, which you can get rid of some users, for example, or add some users or group, and manage the permission, again, like reading, printing, revising, and getting back to the previous version. So saying, I don't want anyone to print this document, so we can check out, uncheck this checkbox. And we can add the users or the user group, which has the obligation to read this document once it is uploaded or updated. For example, like Carol. She is responsible to read this document once it is updated, since she is a representative, and she has to keep in mind or keep update with the policy that we just published in the company. And next, we can manage our approval flow, who will be the approver. For example, like I want to add one more user into our approval flow, like Kevin. And you can see Kevin now is at level 1, which means once this request has been sent, it will be sent to Kevin first. And then wait, and after Kevin approval, it will be sent to my account, Bimser Int, as I'm now at level 0. So considering it's like an approval pyramid, as smaller the number is, the higher I'm in the pyramid in this approval flow. So now, of course, you can get rid of someone in your approval flow. And you can come to this document tapes, which allows you to upload the document, policy, or specification in this from your local drive. And you will see a file uploaded successfully as a message telling you now the file is ready to be published. So that now we can send this out and put this into approval flow. Who is in the approval flow, which is me, myself, my account. And I can see it is now waiting for my approval. How I can approve it? As I mentioned in the beginning, I can find my requests or tags right on my home screen. So I can come to this widget, document for approval request. and find the request is sent to me or pending for my approval. And we can have a quick connection to it by clicking the name. And now QDMS is leading me to the page for approval. So I can come here and find out all the information I just entered, like the code, the name, and also the permission matrix, distribution matrix, and the approval. Okay. And after that, I can either approve it or reject it. If we reject this request, you will be asked to enter the reject reason right under the screen and attach any supportive document, for example, like the policy of your company, as along with this rejection. Of course, in this example, I'm going to approve it. So I'm going to this screen and click the tick mark and approve this document or this request. And also, after that, you will see a message saying it is published and ready for use. It means the document now is ready. So we can, of course, go to our main menu and view a document, or we can use the search bar on the top and find our document. So this is the one we just upload, and you can tell from the approval date, which is today. And you can click it, and after searching, you can view the document of your document right here. Okay, and this is the content of our document. Anytime, you can use the icon on the top as well to start a revision. And these features also are available in your main menu, like you can go to revise document and go to the folder, and find out the document that you want to update or revise. And since we are now on this page, and I will also show you how we can manage the revision. So you can go to start your revision, and you can see your document has been saved for revision. You can see, you can tell from this message on your screen. The reason why is this is one of the features in QDMS is the check-in and check-out. So we avoid or prevent two users amend or revise the same document at the same time. So with the check-in check-out function, considering I am 2 seconds ahead to start the revision, so that I will lock this document, and this document will be locked until I finish my revision or the admin to release the lock. So it's helped you to keep your document as up to date and no duplicate in the system. So now we are revising, and you're able to enter the revision reason right here in this open text box, like the reason why you carry out this revision. And after that, you can also enter the description of your revision. So for example, what you have updated in the document. So saying update point 3-14 is updated. Okay. And then you can upload right here, go to the document tab and upload your updated document from your local drive here. Okay. And also in the permission matrix, while you're revising a document, you're revising the document, you can also manage the permission here as well, like granting the permission of printing to the users, or adding someone into the distribution list, and invite someone as the approver for this request as well. Okay. And in the main menu, as I mentioned, you can manage the folder, which you can create your subfolder or the main folder in the system. So for example, I'm going to add a new folder in this procedure folder. And you can add a new one, and you can see the parent folder now is procedure, and create the document code saying folder demo or demo folder, more precisely. I'm going back, and that's here we go. And this is a demo folder -001, for example. And right here, you can set up the automatic code template. So you can use automatic code, which means all the documents that you upload in this folder will apply with this automatic code template. So you can consider like df hashtag or the pound sign and set up the counter. So what will happen when you add a new document in this folder is the document code will apply in this format like df-0000, and the next will be 001, 2, 3, 4, and so on. The system will increment the counter automatically. And also you can set up the default authorization matrix here for this folder, and also does the distribution matrix and the approval matrix. The new document that you upload in this folder will apply this matrix automatically. And of course, while you're uploading the new document, you can still manage this authorization matrix and distribution matrix and approval matrix as well. And this is how we can manage our folder structure and also the read or create the document in the system. And in every module in QDMS, there's a reporting tool which allows you to create the ready-made report right here. So for example, you can see the document status report. So we can go to here and set up some condition for our report, like the date that you are toggling with, or set up the time frame for the first creation date maybe. And after that, you can click the search icon and start the searching. And you can see all the documents in your system here with the condition that you set up. And also you can anytime use the search bar provided on the top. So for example, I want to see how many documents it is in revision. Okay, and this is one of ours. We just start our revision process, the document procedure 11-21. So it is now being revised. So you can see how what is the status of your document here by creating this report. And of course, you can export this report into Excel for sharing with any responsible parties. Okay. And this is how you can manage your document, for example, policy, standard, or SOP in QDMS. Okay. And next is also QDMS integrate with Acumatica. So we capture different information from Acumatica, for example, employees, product, and also the vendor name. So we can get into one and see. So we have this employee name here. For example, you can again always use the search bar on the top, and you can see Michael, Maxwell, Layla, Joseph, Martin, and so on right here. And these are the information that we integrate with Acumatica. So in Acumatica, we have this employee list. You can find the same employee ID and the name, like 01 as Michael, Maxwell, Layla, Joseph, and Martin. It is exactly that you can see in QDMS, which means QDMS and Acumatica integration is a success. Okay. And by the way, we can integrate with any fields that you can find in Acumatica. So QDMS can capture that information from Acumatica, and you can use Acumatica as a master data sheet of your quality management system. Okay. And next, I want to show you is one of the applications that we have for quality control or for managing, as Kevin mentioned before, like managing the cooler temperature of that you have in your company. Okay, so I want to show you is this one. So we have different solution, and there's one for the fish or food industry compiling with SQF. So I'm now putting this up, which is a daily temperature monitoring log. And in this form, or in this business, digitized business process, you can add your company logo and also capture the username automatically. And you can set up some condition. For example, like for cooler 23479, the temperature shouldn't above 40. And for 158, it shouldn't be above 38, for example. And now for your daily checking, you can enter the temperature that you record for your cooler. And also we can integrate with the sensor or the reader that you equipped in the cooler and capture the temperature automatically. So considering now, I'm also going to put some example here. It's 123 degree. So which means all of them are above the limit. So what will happen when I click the save button is you can find this workflow. It's now I'm the checker number 1, and it will be sent to the number 2, to the second person to have the second check. And after that, we will send it to the manager. So keep in mind, right here, you can have your unique workflow for different business process that we digitize on our platform. So I'm going to save it, and the system will check how many temperature is above this the range or the limit. So there are 10 critical values. Manager will be notified. So the manager will receive a notification on this platform and also through in his or her email inbox. Also, you can find the flow history and see what we are waiting or which step we are at for this business process. So you can find out who did what at what on what day in this flow history. And also it can also be used as the e-signature on this platform as well. So now it is waiting for Barbara. So we can switch our account to Barbara and carry out the second check. So Barbara can find the similar form on her screen. And also on the home screen, Barbara can get a quick connection to the task it is waiting for her, waiting for Barbara to perform. So you can see all the information that we just entered for the first checking. And again, and right here, we cannot change it because on this platform, again, all the action or activities is permission-based. It's based on your role or your position, profession, group, or department. So now we can only enter the second check temperature. So now I'm going to enter like S90. And right here, put some comment. So I'm going to comment and put today's date, for example, and save it. So this request now will be sent to the manager, and also the system will check if there's any values or temperature is above the limit as well. So now we are waiting for the manager approval, Amelia. So we can switch our account to Amelia. And the reason why I can switch between the accounts is I'm now logging in as the administrator, so that I can switch between accounts. So now I'm in here as the manager, so I can go to the home page and start proceeding the request. Okay, and right here, this is the one we just entered, and you can tell from the date, and you can find this exact same data we just entered, like 123 and 90 degrees for the first and the second checking, respectively. And also find the comment right here. Okay, and now, as this is above the limit, so we can create a corrective action right on this platform, and it is integrated with QDMS. So we can click and start creating our corrective action. And it is look like this on the same screen. and you can find the QDMS Corrective Action module here. And you can see right here, the non-conformity is entered automatically with over temperature, and the detail is their 10 critical value. And you can enter more in the detail like cooler 1, 2, and 3 is broken, for example. Okay, and you can assign the solution team to take care of this corrective action and add the attachment right here as a reference for the responsible team right on this platform, or while you are handling with this request. Or you can go back to the form, which you can click it, and you can get back to the form right here, which means you can click the corrective action wheel and get to the corrective action like this, or you can get back to the previous page. Okay. And let's come to the end of my demonstration. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you for joining this webinar.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you for the demonstration. Very detailed and very informative. Much appreciated. So that's our Q&A session right now, and I have been receiving some questions. Let's address those. Is there any mobile app available for QDMS? Sam?
Yes, good question. So there's mobile application available for QDMS, and it is available for Android and iOS device. You can download QDMS from the Google Play Store or the App Store for iOS device, for example, and install it on your handheld device like your smartphone or tablet. After that, you can connect to QDMS that is set up on your server, and you can connect it on your handheld device anytime and anywhere with the internet connection. You can see the same data and setup that you can see in your web browser, because all the data for your mobile application and also for the one that you can see in the web browser are coming from the same database, which means it's in and out from and to the same database. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. One of the questions I received is about Acumatica QDMS integration points. Can you explain what are the integration points for QDMS and Acumatica? That's a good question, and I can address some of it. So QDMS is a certified Acumatica solution, and we have ready-made integrations. At the moment, we are pulling customer information, supplier information, product information, as well as HR information from Acumatica directly into QDMS. So it depends on your quality management system that you are running. We can get this data from Acumatica, and we can also send some information back to Acumatica as well. So it depends on your quality management system. We basically set it up for you. But at the moment, we are pulling all the master data from Acumatica to help you manage your quality management system on QDMS. That's how it is designed at the moment, and we are basically ready to expand this integration. Depends on any project, which is pretty easy for us because Acumatica generates all the APIs on its screen very easily. We have the same capabilities on QDMS, so we can set this up based on your quality management system. As we have been seeing in these webinars, quality management systems are very flexible, and it helps you basically design your own quality management system based on your own company's hierarchy and criteria, simply. So these systems, basically, we design it to reflect your quality management system. Another question that I get is about the language. Do we have other languages available for QDMS, Spanish and others? That's actually a good question. What kind of language options we have for QDMS? QDMS is actually ready to be localized. Okay, we have different languages available. Spanish is being work right now because we get a lot of Spanish-related inquiries, especially for manufacturing companies, widely used. So you can have different language options in QDMS. Different language options, different currencies, and different locations can be managed on QDMS, and could be any language basically. So what happens with the localization is you change the interface into a different language. Okay, what data you'll put in is going to be reflected on the report. So if you put it in English, the report will be in English. If you put it in Spanish, the report will be in Spanish. So what we have been seeing in our companies, our customers, is basically even if we change the interface into a different language, they basically keep the language of the content same, typically English. So that report can come in English basically. So that's much easier for them to have a consolidated report. So the answer of to that question is language options are available in QDMS, and you can localize it to different languages as you wish. Another question that I got is about the limit of the documents that we can keep. How many documents can I keep on QDMS? What are the limits? Can you let me know? Yes, definitely. So basically on QDMS, there is no limit as to how many documents you can manage. Okay. So the limits basically based on your server or your cloud account. So what we do is typically most of our customers basically host the system on a cloud or on-premise server. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter for us because the system is web-based. Whether we deploy it on a on-premise server or on a cloud account, you can access the QDMS wherever you are, just like accessing Acumatica from any web browser. Same setup. You can access QDMS from any web browser, just like connecting any website basically. So depends on the capacity of your server, either on-premise server or cloud account. You can basically keep the documents on your database. So you own the data, and there is no restrictions on QDMS as to how many documents you can keep. That will be my answer. Let's see. We are compliant with SQF as well as BRC. Can I manage these two quality management systems on QDMS? Yes, you can manage basically different quality management systems on QDMS. There are, as we know it, and we have also actually proved it and showed you, there are many similarities actually when you look at different quality management systems. So BRC and SQF, there are actually similarities. Yes, there are differences too, but there are many same activities that you need to perform actually. You know, like document management is one of them, corrective action is another of them, training is another of them. BRC says train your employees, SQF says train your employees. ISO says the same thing basically as for training, for example. So there are similarities. You can manage different quality management systems and management systems on QDMS at the same time. So that is perfectly fine. Let's remember, every time that you take an action on QDMS, you can actually put a reference as to which quality management system you are referring to. Is it the, let's say, ISO 9001, and you can put the you can cite the number from the guideline, for example. Same thing with QDMS for SQF, for example. Let's say you are attaching a document or you are taking a corrective action, and you can add a reference as to what part of the SQF guideline you are referring to. They come with certain numbers and separators basically, so you can address them in QDMS easily. So that's pretty practical also. And let's see if there's any other questions. If I see. Talk about this. Okay, so is your software CFR Part 11 compliant? That's a good question. We addressed that also in previous weeks, and we'll be addressing in following weeks as well. QDMS is CFR Part 11 compliant. So if you are in an industry that needs to be compliant with FDA requirements, QDMS is ready-made in that sense. It has CFR Part 11 compliance requirements. It's permission-based. It's safe, secure. Also, it has audit trail, and you cannot change anything easily as to past data. It requires e-signature. We also have e-signature capabilities in QDMS. So we basically provide a safe and secure environment. We also get a question of, for example, about validation if we do validation. We also provide validation service if needed, especially for pharma companies as well as healthcare companies. We don't see so much of validation requirement in food companies, but if there's a need, we can also provide validation service as well as to help you comply with FDA CFR Part 11 requirements and to make sure with the validation, all the systems setup and configurations basically satisfying your company's requirements as to your quality management system. Let me see if there is another question that I haven't addressed yet. Looks like I addressed all the questions. Yes, I addressed all the questions. Okay, great. So before I end the session, I'd like to remind you again, we have a YouTube channel for Bimser International, and in the playlist, you can see our previous webinar recordings. You can watch, you can share with your colleagues. So they are available, recordings are available on our YouTube channel under playlist. Also, next week, let me also remind you one more time, if I may. Next week, we'll be talking about good manufacturing practices requirements, how to comply with GMP using QDMS, BIM, and Acumatica. If you notice, we actually address good manufacturing practices and how to comply with good manufacturing practices by using QDMS and Acumatica. Next week, we'll be mostly focusing on facility management. How you're going to manage your facilities, how you're going to manage your assets, how you're going to make sure that you are following your SOPs when you are managing your facilities to have a hygiene environment, safe and secure environment in the food industry, as well as healthcare, medical device, and pharma industry, which is very popular and very important requirements that we'll be talking about next week. Following week, we'll be talking about aerospace and defense industry as to AS9100 requirements, how to comply digitally. And then we'll be talking about corrective actions on June 1st. And we'll be talking about BRC compliance in food industry on June 8th, and more to come. We have, as I mentioned earlier, more than a year of webinar plan already ready-made. There are many things to talk about, many things to share, many things to comply with digitally. In this digital age, we can get rid of paper and we can actually simplify our processes. And the good thing is, we have been doing it for a long time. We have been actually deploying QDMS and developing it since 1998. We have more than 1,000 customers and more than 1 million users already. So we have seen a lot, we have done a lot, we have observed a lot, and we are still learning, by the way. So having said that, we are very excited to have this opportunity to share our expertise and also having the chance to meet with you online. Great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And we are looking forward to seeing you in our coming webinars. Next Monday at 2 o'clock, we'll be meeting and we'll be talking about good manufacturing practices, how to comply with GMP, good manufacturing practices, while you are managing your facilities, assets, and maintenance operations. Thank you so much and have a nice day.